Hi, my name is Christine C. and welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to my series, the Optometry Diaries. In this series, I'll be taking you along with me as a guide for the future generation of optometrists as a pre-optometry student myself. In today's episode, we'll be diving into learning how to study for the OAT. Studying for the OAT can feel overwhelming at first. The truth is, preparing for the OAT is also about understanding how you learn and which methods help you study the most effectively. Alright, you'll hear about different OAT study strategies from flashcards to practice problems to cheat sheets to videos. But in the end, everybody learns differently. In this video, my goal is to prepare you in finding a method that helps you feel confident while also highlighting different approaches and small tips so that you can focus on being well prepared for the OAT. Today, I'll be sharing how to study for the OAT in 5 simple steps. Alright, let's get started. Step 1 is building your study plan. When you start, set a timeline that works backwards from your test date. Some things to think about are how many weeks you have, which subjects you're strong in, and which ones need more of your attention. As you may know, the OAT consists of 6 subjects. You have biology, general chemistry, organic chemistry, reading comprehension, physics, and quantitative reasoning. Ask yourself, how can I break down these 6 subjects into a study plan for the OAT? And which subjects do I need to spend more time on? Once you're able to visualize how many weeks you have until your OAT, this leads us to step number 2. Step number 2, set learning goals for yourself and consider investing in OAT study resources. As you reflect on the different subjects that you're strong in, and as you reflect on the ones that might need more of your attention, this is where it's important to consider your learning goals and assess what resources you may need to meet those goals. For example, you may learn best through watching videos and seeing concepts explained visually. Or maybe you retain more through working on practice problems or applying the material directly. Sometimes you might find yourself doing well with flashcards or cheat sheets, or maybe you might need a live instructor or a study group. For me, I knew that I needed a combination of all of these, especially for varying subjects or topics. In recognizing this, I used a combination of OATBooster and Chad's Prep. Out of all the study resources, I picked OATBooster because it had a little bit of everything I needed. What I liked about OATBooster is that the platform caters to many different styles of learning. I found that I can switch between active recall, visual learning, or practice problems depending on the subject. Now, there are many platforms out there, but OATBooster and Chad's Prep is what I personally use that work best for me. Now for you guys, once you've decided on a study resource that works best for you, I highly recommend browsing around and understanding how the specific platform will help and contribute to your study plan. Alright, on to the next step. Step number 3, create consistency. As you begin to study, make sure you reflect on your stage of life. During this time, some helpful questions to ask yourself are you a full-time student? Are you currently working? What are some responsibilities you have to balance at home? Do you study better at home, or do you need to go out? Maybe to a library or a coffee shop? Ask yourself, where's the place where I can stay focused? If you're working, can you study after long shifts? Or would it help to request time off, especially as your exam gets closer? The goal is to be honest about your energy and your lifestyle. Then shape your routine and create consistency within your study habits. Alright, this leads us to step number 4. Step 4, being real and open to new learning styles. In studying for the OAT, it's important to be real with yourself. It's also important to be open to exploring different ways of learning. And trust me, I've tried it all. A story I can share as an example, I was a biology major in undergrad. So I came into OAT preparation already exposed to many of the concepts within the subject. For some reason, I thought that watching tons of OATBooster biology videos would be the best approach for this section. But I quickly realized that a lot of this content was very familiar. Some of the material began to easily slip my mind. I found that instead, what actually worked better for the biology section was using active recall. I was using flashcards, or what OATBooster calls it, the bio bits. Really drilling myself with the material made it a lot easier to digest and retain the information. But for many people, especially if it's their first time or maybe it's been a long time that they've encountered the material, having someone explain a biology concept through video could maybe be helpful. It all varies student to student, subject to subject. But here's the thing, studying is not a one-size-fits-all process. It's important to remember that different approaches can click in different subjects. Sometimes in studying, that means being willing to shift gears and try new forms of learning until you could find what works best for you. Another example of shifting gears for me was specifically for the quantitative reasoning section. For me, math has always been something that just clicks. But what surprised me was, since the quantitative reasoning section was the last section of the OAT, I found myself struggling with time management. I really had to figure out how I can change the way that I studied for this topic. So my advice to you guys, truthfully, don't be afraid to take the extra steps to get some help. So the extra step that I took for the quantitative reasoning section was opting to try a crash course by OATBooster, and I truly think that it changed the game. Courses didn't just review the concept, but it showed test-taking strategies like how to recognize common question type and shortcuts to solve problems faster. I also tried the crash courses for the sciences. In my studying, I definitely had moments where I felt like so much to know, such little time. There's just so much content that I could feel like everything is important. So truly changing up my approach and having a live instructor highlight the most high yield concepts definitely made things more manageable. Many of the topics actually showed up on the OAT. Being able to practice those questions and applying their techniques made a huge difference in boosting what I needed to focus on, my exam pacing, and overall my confidence. Like I mentioned, be flexible enough to switch gears and try a new method. Whether it's taking less notes, try more practice problems, or taking a live class, find what can actually help make the content of the OAT truly stick. On top of that, I condensed my notes from these courses into high-yield cheat sheets and organized them in a binder. I actually brought that binder in with me on test day. If you guys like, I highly recommend also creating an OAT binder, especially if you're someone like me who's a little more tactile and likes flipping through my pages. Alright, that leads us to our next step. Step number 5. Practice tests are your best friend. When I tell you this, taking practice tests is one of the most important parts of your studying. Practice tests will build your endurance for the actual exam, help you practice timing and pacing for each section, and train your brain to combat test anxiety. I highly recommend taking practice exams as early as possible in your studying. Don't wait to the last minute. Make it a priority to take full-length practice tests, not just casually, but treat it like the real thing. For me personally, I went all in treating my practice tests like the real thing. So at my optometry clinic, one of the exam rooms actually had a computer setup that was pretty similar to the ones at Prometric. What I would do is that I would take my practice test on that old computer, and truly sitting there really put me in the test day mindset. It was simply just me, an empty room, and the computer I was taking the test on. Other days, I'd do something pretty similar. I'd book a quiet study room in the library and bring nothing but my laptop, some whiteboard markers, and these laminated sheets here that were pretty similar to the actual sheets they give you on your OAT test day to make it feel as exact to the real exam. I even went the extra mile and practiced my food routine. I guess what I ate was a part of my studying too. But really, what I did was that I would wake up at the same time, eat the same exact breakfast as I would on test day, pack the same snacks that I would bring to Prometric, and take breaks exactly when they'd happen. Each week, I dedicated one full test day as a full run-through. I truly think that studying for the OAT also comes with practicing the experience itself. I made practice tests and that experience a regular part of my routine. I felt like I was training my brain, my body, and my mindset. Truly handled the real thing with confidence. Alright, and that wraps up today's episode on how to study for the OAT. Today, we went over 5 simple steps from number 1, building your study plan, number 2, setting learning goals, number 3, creating consistency, number 4, being real and being open to new learning styles, and number 5, making sure that you're taking lots of practice tests. Remember that studying for the OAT is finding the methods that truly work best for you, but also building consistency and training your brain for the big test day. Alright, before I end, this is a bonus tip. Make sure you truly practice self-talk when you study. On the tough days, I literally have to tell myself, I can do this, I got this, I will get into optometry school. It might feel small and kind of silly. Those little reminders do add up. And if these reminders have helped me, hopefully they can help you too, and we can move forward in this journey we're going through together. Thank you so much to OATBooster. That's been a phenomenal program in helping me throughout my OAT studies. Guys, I highly recommend using OATBooster as your study platform of choice for a bonus. If you guys want, you guys can use the code Diaries for 10% off. Thank you guys for being here. I'd love to continue bringing you guys along with me by creating more episodes in the Optometry Diaries series. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Good luck on your OAT. You got this.